Today's episode of Too Late to Sleep is brought to you by bolts. You might think you have enough bolts, but you don't. You always can use more bolts, because you never know what might happen if you're not using enough bolts. This is Too Late to Sleep. Alright, so obviously, Trampions, the big news this week was from Raw, the main event, Braun Strowman's shitty dropkick. What the hell was that? Now don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to get hit with that. A man that size, moving that fast, throwing his entire body at you is going to hurt. But it's going to hurt your thighs, because that is not a man that can jump very high. That is a bad dropkick. That is a bad dropkick. And he's in the ring with a man who has hit a missile dropkick that was very, very pretty. Bad time to do a bad dropkick. Seriously though, the big thing in the match was how it ended, or the ring blew out. A lot of people were saying that they knew it was coming from early on when they realized that the LED boards weren't on the posts, which was a little bit more obvious towards the beginning of the match when Braun went into the ring steps and you could see that there was a larger cutout on the mat underneath the steps because it was cut out for the LED and not the ring post itself. So that was a little bit telling. So some people who say that they saw it coming from early on, they might be telling the truth. I saw it coming about halfway through the match when they started to tease the superplex spot. When you got two guys that big, especially when we've already seen the spot with Big Show and Brock Lesnar and Big Show and Mark Henry, it was a little, I'll say it wasn't unprecedented. And it doesn't have to be. I think they probably could have waited a little longer to do the spot, but I did like that this time Braun got up and was celebrating before the end of the show. The last two times it happened, both competitors were out. The show ended with both of them out. I think the second time it happened, they actually had to do a last man standing match afterwards, but we didn't see either of the competitors. They just got wheeled to the back, or I think bust out on mini carts or something. This was the first time that I remember them doing it where one of them recovered really quickly, and obviously that was the intention. So I think that's nice. It puts Braun over. Big Show doesn't look bad because that was a killer spot, but Braun looks good because he recovered. So it was nice. I liked how they do it. It was neat. I want to talk about, apparently on Thursday there was the news breaking that Global Force Wrestling is no more. It has officially been merged with Impact. And I think most wrestling fans are wondering what Global Force Wrestling was. If you are one of them, when Jeff Jarrett originally left Impact to go off on his own, he started Global Force Wrestling. And it looked like it was going to be a new NWA for the 2010s. He had signed deals with a bunch of mid-level indies, like higher-level indies than the NWA operates with. He had inked deals with New Japan, with a few international bodies besides that. I think there was a Lucha group in there too. The year that Jim Ross called Wrestle Kingdom, I think that was Wrestle Kingdom 9, that was Global Force Wrestling producing the New Japan American stream. So that's how that worked out. It was a big deal because Jeff Jarrett and Jim Ross had heat, so the two of them working together was a big deal. That's why Jeff Jarrett became a Bullet Club member. When he did WrestleCon the next year, or later that year, it was he was still in the Bullet Club. So that's where that all came from. But it never really evolved into anything. He had GFW as its own entity where Nick Aldis Magnus was the world champ. The Bollywood Boys, we'll get to them in a minute, were the tag champs, and eventually, after he left WWE, Cody Rhodes became the Next Gen champ. Not X Division, Next Gen. Just basically the same thing. And they did a lot of minor league baseball stadium shows, which used to be a big thing, but now New England Wrestling is really the only group that does them, and they don't do them as often. And the GFW tour just didn't really amount to much. They never really did anything with their deals with other groups. Everything just kind of fell apart. It seemed like a lot of potential that ended up as nothing. So now that's officially dead. Now that Jeff Jarrett is back with Impact, Cody has been carrying around the Next Gen belt on Impact for the past few weeks. And that's, it was something, not much, and now it's not even that. But back to the Bollywood Boys. We saw them on SmackDown, helping out Jinder Mahal, and boy do people have opinions. Wow. I have seen on Reddit everything from WWE is racist for putting Jinder Mahal in the bad guy trope, to fans are racist for booing Jinder Mahal, to Jinder Mahal is racist for calling white people racist. Everybody is a racist according to everybody, and Jinder Mahal is on steroids. So nobody is willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Nobody is willing to see where this goes, except for basically Indian fans who are getting called out by the actually racist anti-Indian fans that just want to shit on anything that they don't like. So it's not a great situation. I, for one, am anxious to see where this goes. I cannot say that I've ever been a Jinder Mahal fan. I'm not going to lie to you and say to you that I've enjoyed his work, but I am definitely anxious to see where this goes. If this turns out to be something big, if he's able to make the Bollywood Boys into something that I actually am going to care about, which so far has not been the case since they entered the WWE, if he is able to put out the level of work that is required of a #1 contender, that is required of possibly the next big heel of the company, of a stable leader, if he is able to do that, then all the more power to him. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves otherwise. There's a reason that they are giving him this ball. You can speculate on whatever reason. I know a lot of people have said, oh, it's because they're trying to crack the Indian market. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But for whatever reason they are giving him the ball, I'm going to watch him run with it. And I'm not going to crap on him until he drops the ball. And if he doesn't drop the ball, more power to him. I hope he doesn't. I want to see him succeed. I want more stars. I want him to provide the kinds of matches that I want to see. So far, he hasn't been given that opportunity. So I think him versus Randy Orton is very interesting. And if it sucks, I'm going to tell you it sucks. If it's great, I'm going to tell you it's great. I just want to see the match. And that's what I want to see people saying. I want to see the match. I don't think it's fair to crap on him before he has a chance. Well, that's everything we have for you this week, Trampions. Thank you for checking this out. As always, hit the like if you liked it. Hit the subscribe. It's going to be this pretty face. Check out the link down in the description for Amazon. Pick up some bolts, or just click the link and buy whatever else you're planning on buying. It all helps out. Throw some videos up here. Follow them if you like. Please tell your friends. I love you. As always, cheers.